Greetings. When we last left our intrepid adventurers, they were attempting to answer a question posed to them by the mad wizard Kellic.
Well, I'll let you do the discovery since you're the one who discovered it.
Well,
Like, show the audience what we discovered.
yeah, we discovered that the Cook Marsh is not a place, but David Cook and Steve Marsh. And we believe we have an answer to the question.
Wow.
I have no idea how to pronounce that name, though.
We've got some, yeah.
Lilin?
So the Lolm.
Yeah, I think that's the answer.
Lilin?
Is that your final answer?
Oh. Is this?
There's a rumbling in the walls.
Here is base town for adventurers exploring.
It is a deep bass rumbling.
Unless anybody else has a different idea, I'm kind of agreeing with them because it
Can I look
specifies.
at the book real quick just to
Yep.
make
The
sure?
only two things that
So
we're
you
looking
haven't
at is
had
this
one
one and that
opinion.
one. One is the main. So what we're looking at right now is there's in that book there's a map called the Grand Duchy of Karamakos. We were looking at the map within it, and it's deep within the book. And then looking at that map, there are two cities that caught our eye. One is Spectralum, which is starred. It's the main city of Karamakos, but it has nothing to do with adventurers. Did I say that wrong?
Specularum.
Specularum.
Which is
I don't have the book in front of me. I was trying to go off memory. And then the other one,
Speculum.
I think you're right. I think it's the
Is-
second one.
Luln,
Luln.
L-U-L-N,
which says it is a home base to many adventurers.
which says it's the home base for many base town for adventurers exploring the haunted keep and surrounding land.
So, Kellic awaits an answer.
Let's go with that.
I think consensus is we're gonna go with answer 2. Fingers crossed.
Put my
Okay,
hands up. When we get squished up, I'm going to put my hands over my head.
right? Okay. Yes. Final answer. Luln.
All right. The rumbling gets more intense, and there's a peal of that same lightning sound effect that you heard on the surface. And then Kellic's phone buzzes. It's not me. Okay, so as the rumbling dies away, Kellic is staring at you with hatred in his eyes.
Heart, Kellic.
Yes. You are the first of the pathetic adventurers through here to answer that question. I must consider it correct. And he writes something down in his book. But nonetheless, I curse you.
Not good.
But it's correct.
When he says that, you realize something's tugging at your cloak.
Okay.
You look down. There's a little boy standing there. He looks up at you and says, "Hi."
Oh my god! Hi! What's your name?
He says, "I'm Zeb."
Yes! Yes!
Zeb, son of Cook.
Zeb, son of Cook!
He says, "This is for you." He's holding up a little white bunny rabbit with red eyes.
Beware the hair.
Does it have big, sharp, nasty, pointed teeth?
It doesn't appear to. Its little nose is just sitting there quivering, and he's holding it up at you.
Aw.
It's a beautiful, fluffy white bunny.
I kind of want to take the bunny because I no longer have my bird or my bear.
But
Take the bunny.
last time there was a white hair. There was, you know, in the cartoons, the hair was evil.
Take a free point for Gunter knowledge.
Wait. I have hunch. Can I roll for that?
Sure, roll for hunch.
Let's see if we can.
As a lore master
Hunch,
class,
you
you do have a hunch roll.
5.
So a 5? Alright. You have an uneasy feeling about the rabbit, but it doesn't appear to actually be harmful in and of itself.
Okay, so I also have hunch. Can I try to get in on that action?
Give it a try.
9.
Wow.
9.
9.
You built it up, did you?
3 levels.
The bunny itself is harmless, but it gives you a feeling of ill omen.
Okay,
But he rides on the coattails of the hare.
I
Evil rides on
believe we're dealing with a cursed rabbit. It could just be me. What do you think?
Maybe put it in the cage. Do you still have the cage?
I do.
Put it
You
in
do.
the cage.
All right.
The driver is on his way.
Already, wow, that's fast. The bunny is happy to hop into the cage and lay down. It immediately starts like licking at the little water bottle thing that's hanging on the edge of the cage in a rather anachronistic fashion.
It's a small wickery cage, technically a bird cage, but we'll make it
Right.
work.
It'll work for a little bit.
All right. The bunny
Yeah,
seems
Oasis,
perfectly
right.
happy. It's just sitting there drinking its water and kind of being cute.
Thank you, Zeb. Son of Cook.
How's your death metal music going?
He reaches into his muslin shirt and from nowhere pulls out a little lyre and starts strumming what sounds disturbingly like the opening strains of Enter Sandman. and then just kind of happily starts to wander off into the crowd of gamers. Kellic says, "If you are finished with your tomfoolery, there are 2 challenges left before you may leave."
Okay.
Bring it.
I feel like at some point we should explain to those watching who weren't watching the stream from, 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
Yes. No. We won't break the stride, but suffice it to say, Zeb, son of Cook, makes appearances in all our Extra Life games.
Oh.
We actually named him after the author of... Yeah.
Yes,
So,
Zeb, son of Cook, and it was due to our party that he is now the first death metal bard.
yes, he is a death metal bard. All right. So,
Okay, so moving on. Sorry, I get excited whenever Zeb comes on.
Who doesn't? Zeb's awesome.
hi. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
He says, "When things got advanced, I appeared on the list with a pair of hit dice from the start. Though the feel of the game was Western, from the East is my class's heart. With many abilities absent to most, I entered dungeons both easy and hard. But many players found me of less use than even a bard. What class am I?"
Oh, okay. Useless Oriental class.
I like this research thing. This is fun.
What?
I like the research thing.
I do too.
It makes me feel like a book.
And Kellic begins to thump his finger on his podium.
Yeah, of course he does.
Bum 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 bum.
I'll take famous classes for 400.
Right?
Obviously not. Thanks.
Okay.
Dolly Parton.
Well, we've got Barbarian, Bushi, Kensai, Monk, Ninja, Samurai, Shukenja, Sohei, Rujen, and Yakuza.
We should actually play an OA campaign someday. It's fun.
Dude, I am so down for that.
Obviously.
I had that book and I used to read it, and we played several campaigns off of that.
I feel like barbarians usually are usel.
Yes.
Does anybody? I jumped and I took the book, but I don't.
I
actually
don't
know
remember.
what
It's
I'm looking
been-
for.
Junior high since I've played that.
Oh, jeez.
Master. of
Maybe high
Swords,
school?
Without ties to a lord, mercenaries, bandits.
Let's see if I can
highwaymen.
pull up a class list too.
Yeah, somebody jump on their Oasis console and pool common knowledge on useless classes for.
And for our viewers out there who might want to comment on what they think the answer is, I will repeat
Yes, repeat
the
it again.
puzzle.
Slower.
When things got advanced, I appeared on the list with a pair of hit dice from the start. Though the feel of the game was Western,
Dice.
from the East is my class's heart. With many abilities absent to most, I entered dungeons both easy and hard. But many players found me of less use than even the bard.
I think some sort of like I don't know because I don't know any of these classes.
Now remember, if the players get stumped, a donation to our charity will provide a clue. So, while the players are researching, a bit of history. One of the themes of today's puzzles are exploring the history of Dungeons and Dragons. D&D began in publication in 1974 with what's referred to as the wood grain box, because it was a cheap box that Gary Gygax and his friend Don Kay could find and slap a sticker on. The initial 1,000 copies of Dungeons & Dragons were hand-assembled in Don Kay's garage and sold out with surprising rapidity. In fact, D&D took off in such a way that many players couldn't find legal copies of the original rules, and many people learned to play D&D from mimeographed bootlegs. The original rules required the use of chainmail, which was a miniatures game, and they were written so that other wargamers could understand them. It wasn't until 1977, when Dr. J. Eric Holmes created the very first D&D basic set, that the rules were rewritten for the layman. We've already explored that set a bit with some of the puzzles that we've had today.
Okay, so it looks like Yakuza pretty much is a thief, is the oriental version of the thief.
Excellent.
Wujin is a wizard.
Wujins are the wizards.
So he's a cleric. And then with polearm mastery, and Shu Genja is a cleric with knowledge.
Yeah, Subjanjas are like religious clerics. I would almost call a Sohei more of a paladin. Because it says they're warrior monks, but they're more militant than holy. They don't know much about religious instruction. They're there to defend monasteries and such. So they are associated with the religion, but they are not in of themselves religious. They're defenders of...
Kind of reminds you of Baze Malbus from
Exactly what I was thinking.
from Rogue One. Associated with the Force, but not himself a Jedi or Force user.
Can you make sure that he's gotten the pizza, and then when he's done eating, he needs to go down for a nap.
And so,
Sorry.
what do you think, kind viewers? Are our Gunters on the right path?
I mean, everybody always makes fun of monks.
Monks are kind of badass.
But they can be badass, too.
Let me hear that clue one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When things got advanced, I appeared on the list with a pair of hit dice from the start. Though the feel of the game was Western, from the East is my class's heart. With many abilities absent to most, I entered dungeons, both easy and hard, but many players found me of less use than even a bard. What class am I?
So
With a pair of hit dice from the start. So we're probably looking for somebody who starts with... Okay, let me see. If I'm looking at these charts, 12-sided dice for accumulated hit points. 1. So this is saying that they start with 1 hit die?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so then we need a class that starts with at least 2, with more than 1. So it's not a barbarian, it's not the Bushai, it's not the Kensai. Monks start with 2 4-sided.
That's one possibility.
So monks are a possibility. Monks aren't able to advance beyond 17th level. Yeah, most people hate monks because they're really, really hard to use at the beginning. Ninjas start with 1 to 2.
That's 1 to 2 hit points.
Oh no, hit points. You're right. Not hit die. Hit points accumulated per level.
Oh, this one's giving me hit die on the one that I hold up.
Yeah, this one's saying hit die. This one's saying hit points. So ninjas start with very little hit points.
Oh,
Okay, samurai start with 1 hit die.
oh, I don't know what I clicked on.
Sukjin.
This one
1.
starts with 2 hit die, I think.
Which one?
Shing Ranger? It's a variant.
Yeah.
It does not count.
No,
You would find the information on the Ranger in the original AD&D Player's Handbook. They wouldn't appear in the Oriental book that you're looking
It
at.
won't? Okay.
I think it's like an Oriental adaptation to an original character.
Right.
I'll
AD&D
say
released in the
this is
late
1.
70s, and Oriental Adventures are released in 1985.
1. It's
It's gotta be on
let's be thorough. And then the Yakuza's 1. So Yakuza's 1, 1, 1.
so monk.
So it's got to be the monk. They're the only one that starts with 2 hit dies.
Okay.
Because ninjas only start with a couple of hits.
Do you have a final answer, foolish mortal?
What was your
I
question?
was just gonna ask if you had a bunch of weird abilities.
Monks are really
They're not good till they
they're
get a high.
weird because
Levels.
monks are very limited on what they can do. And at low levels, monks are almost useless. Because they've got key power, but they don't have enough power to really use their key usefully. They can't use weapons, generally speaking, without specifics, so they are usually stuck with using just their hands as weapons, but a hand only does like a d4 damage or something, and as they go further along, they can harden their fist and increase their hand-to-hand damage, and of course I think I'm going off of the original monk basis
Yeah.
because I don't know this book as
Yeah,
much.
that's why. Not too bad.
I say we go with monk. It's their best bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with
Like
that.
they've got all these skills, but
Yeah.
they're all like low levels.
Exactly.
25% open locks, 20%, 15% move silently.
It's like got this giant table and everybody else loves the big ones. So I think that plays back into the clue.
Have you an answer, mortal?
Yes,
Or
let's
why
go
not?
with monk. Final answer is monk.
His eyes narrow. The room starts to shake again, and once again, none of the gamers at the table seem to notice.
You're gonna get mad every time we get an answer right.
And
Yes.
as the rumbling
Monkey,
starts
monkey, monkey.
to subside, Kellic begins to speak, but is interrupted by the reappearance of the child, who is now looking up at Eric the cleric, and he says, "Hi,
Hey, what's up?
here."
Okay.
I love my bunny.
And what do I take in
He,
my hand?
he hands you another fluffy bunny, and then he pulls out his lyre and plays what sounds exactly like the sound effect from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure when they do the air guitar.
Oh,
Sweet.
And then he runs off into the crowd.
Bye, Zach.
most excellent.
Is there room in my wicker cage for the both rabbits?
Yes, you can put a second rabbit in there.
Okay, at this point we're gonna need to start feeding these things.
Well, there's grass all over the place. Don't eat anything, so I grab a clump of grass and put
We're
it.
in a building.
Oh, that's right. We're in a building. That's right. So never mind.
But there's potted plants around.
Yes.
Can we?
It's a
what kind
room full of
potted-
gamers. There's probably grass, but
No,
Oh,
you
yeah,
also
yeah.
said there were
Not the
potted.
kind you'd want the rabbit.
Didn't you also say there were potted plants around?
there
outside
were
the door.
out in the,
out
in
in
the
the
lobby.
lobby.
Don't
Yes.
you have,
I've
like,
got
an
an
apple?
apple.
Yeah, just put them in
I was
the
gonna
apple.
say if they're actually hungry.
Kellic
food.
Put
watches
the bunny. And I've got
in-
animal handling, so I'm petting the bunnies and it's testing their level of skill.
Kellic watches in obvious disgust as the child runs off into the crowd. You get the feeling he doesn't like children much. Or perhaps
He just doesn't like that.
just this child.
But Zeb is awesome and persistent and never ceasing. Hi.
Possibly handing us
Hi.
cursed bunnies.
Alright.
And possibly handing us cursed bunnies.
So what's next?
Kellic raises a bony hand in the air and snaps his fingers with a sound that echoes through the hall, and a moment later, peering out from behind Kellick's black robes, is the green, mottled face of some sort of green-skinned creature.
Hi.
It's wearing a hood and has in its hand a nasty-looking wavy dagger.
But you have a nasty dagger too, don't you?
He says,
I have a
she
nasty
does.
he has
dagger.
a nasty knife
Oh, okay.
that says Miss Jackson on the blade.
Yes.
Nasty.
All right, so the creature stands there looking at you with its beady little black eyes. You see it reach in behind its clothes, come out with this little vial, and start dripping something down the blade of the knife that looks theatrically nasty.
Oh, you know what he should do? He should lick the blade like a villain.
Yes, after
He
he's
puts
applied
the
the
vial
poison.
back and stands there with the knife, just watching you.
Okay.
Kellick says, "This is my associate. He is here to administer the punishment if you miss the last and most difficult of my challenges. This will require the deepest knowledge
Where there'll be a spanking?
of the game."
It's too perilous.
Kellick doesn't seem to notice your comment at all, but the little green-skinned guy kind of grins. It's almost as if he likes the idea.
Kinky.
So, Kellick says, "The final clue that will tax your knowledge to the bedrock of the hobby. And if you get it wrong..." He looks down, and his associate is now smiling from ear to ear with these pointy, jagged teeth that you can't quite get over the impression that he probably files into points. He says, Kellick says, "Back in 74, I took to the dungeon a magic user today. Tomorrow and yesterday, I followed the swordsman's way. Though skilled with a spell and a broadsword as well, my blessing and curse is this. Never shall I use both in one delve, till the rules took revision's twist. What am I?"
It sounds multi-classy.
Oh. Oh.
So
These
70.
are the ones for the first.
Well, those are some of the original edition books. Yes.
Alright. Can we get that
You want to repeat?
question
Yes, please.
slower?
Slow. One line at a time.
One line at a time. Back in 74, I took to the dungeon a magic user today. Tomorrow and yesterday, I followed the swordsman's way.
Okay.
Though skilled with a spell and a broadsword as well, my blessing and curse is this.
Couldn't Rangers use
This
magic?
is 74.
Okay.
Okay, so look at
Never
Rangers.
shall I use both in one delve,
Or elf, sorry.
till the rules took revision's twist.
So, pretty multi-class. But multi-class.
Okay, read that to me again.
Yes, please.
Back in 74, I took to the dungeon a magic user today.
Okay.
Tomorrow and yesterday, I followed the swordsman's way. And then I didn't write it down word for word after that, but
Sure.
basically, I could use spells or broadswords, but until the revisions came along, I couldn't use both at the same time.
So not an accurate multi-classing.
Not
so
an
it's
actual
like
multi-class, but
pre-multi-classing.
Can elves use?
like a
Well, because they use strength and intelligence, and intelligence is mostly with magic, isn't it?
Well,
Yes.
elves were
Let me see that
supposed
book
to
for a
be
second.
back when races were classes at the same time. Elves were warrior magic users. Like they weren't a straight wizard magic user. Like not yet.
That seems too easy.
yeah. Second part of it is not confirmed either, so
Yeah.
Ed's sitting over there grinning.
I know.
Which is never good.
It means he knows his answer.
Okay, wait. It says that the copyright was in 74, but the first printing was in 81, so does that mean it's 74?
What you are looking at there is the Tom Moldvay and Cook Marsh Basic and Expert Rules printed in 1980 and 81.
Okay. So,
Not 74.
not 74. But the original was in 74.
The original was in 74.
Okay. Do we have the original? Let's see.
There is not an original Min and Magic on the table. However, it is available in PDF if you would like to look at it.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm glad I checked that.
Give me just a moment.
Not what I wanted.
I'm pretty sure it is the elf, but I will not give an answer without having 100% confirmation.
Yeah, we need to look at the actual elf thing for original.
Alright, give me just a moment.
What? Did it download? Please? Did I just download like 7 copies of that?
The white box.
Does someone want a PDF?
Yes.
There's a reason I bought that tablet.
Okay.
Does you want back ones?
Say again?
I think it's heavy, that's all.
Well, I was using it for teaching
I know.
because I could put whole textbooks on it.
You can also do Control F on shirts.
Yeah.
But now it serves as a mobile RPG library so that I may torture my players with things like this.
I want pizza.
Elves can begin as either fighting men or magic users and freely switch class whenever they choose from adventure to adventure, but not during the course of a single game.
That's what we needed.
Thus, they gain the benefits of both classes and may use both weaponry and spells.
We weren't finding that because we were looking at the revised edition.
Right, we were
Yeah.
looking at the revised
Which is
edition.
exactly what I figured was the deal.
So, elves.
Elf, final answer.
Final answer. What is elf?
All right. So, Kellett balls his fists, and you can see the tendons and veins standing out on the backs of his hands.
Take a deep breath. It's okay.
Count to 10.
So,
Can we pass this back
Yes.
to the GM?
so the next thing that occurs
We got it.
is the little green skin guy takes his nasty looking swishy dagger and plunges it into Kelleck's back. Kellett gives
Oh, with friends like that.
No kidding.
No,
Kellett gives a howl of pain and begins to melt, just like the Nazis at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Nice.
Ew.
until all that's left is his robes and some bubbling green goo.
Is the bubbling green goo on the ropes?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Good try.
The little greenskin steps forward, making kind of a disgusted face as his boots squish into Kelleck's liquidy remains.
Well, then why did you step forward?
Then he pulls himself up onto the podium so that he's standing over the big book. He grabs Kelleck's dropped plume, writes something in the book, and you hear the horns go off again.
Woohoo!
He says, "Well, you're the first ones to actually solve this one. And it's a good thing, too. I was getting tired of the old bastard."
It's lost. We'll get it later.
He says, "You're free to leave."
Okay.
Cool.
He looks around the room, scanning all of the game tables. He says, but where, oh, where does the exit lie?
It's never easy
He
with you,
says,
is
you
it?
realize there are thousands upon thousands of games and editions. And all of them are being played here tonight. But only one will send you on your way to the Crystal Key.
I'm gonna guess the blue book.
Well, I don't know. We got 2 bunny rabbits.
Can you give me a
He
hint?
says, I will tell you the one thing that will save you.
Okay.
He leans forward and looks down at all of you from the podium, which is odd because he's only about 4 feet tall.
He put a box there when we weren't looking.
Yeah.
Right. He says the only thing that will save you now is what Kellic lacked. He was confident that his associates would have his back. He did not have a healthy sense of fear or self-preservation. And that, knowing that behind every one of these tables is... He twirls his dagger a little bit. Possibly an assassin. Possibly other hunters looking for the key. Why, killers could be anywhere. And if you take that to heart, if you realize that death is behind every hiding place in this hall,
This is a really long clue.
you may survive. Don't think for a moment that you are safe anywhere.
Why does all that sound familiar?
So do we just go back the way we came?
I don't think so.
He says, and now I have more wizards to shank. And you should also be mindful and fearful that other groups are hot on your tail. Do not take any comfort in your position in the contest. Things could change at any moment. You could end up at the bottom of the list.
You really like to listen to yourself talk. Love you, little green face thing.
All right. So he jumps off the box and starts to wander away.
I still don't trust these rabbits.
Bye.
And that's when you feel a tug on your clothing.
Hello. I think we're about to get another rabbit.
Zeb looks up and just says, hi.
Hi.
Zeb goes, I don't know what a point is, but you could have gotten one if you called him by name.
Oh.
He reaches in to his clothing and pulls out a small carded action figure of the assassin, and then he puts it back. Then he reaches into the other one and pulls out a rabbit and hands it to you.
Thank you for the rabbit.
He says, this one's for you.
Thank you.
The rabbit looks up at you and twitches its nose.
Oh man, it's adorable. Put it back. Put it in the cage.
With little glowing red eyes.
With the little red eyes.
Still don't trust any of these rabbits.
Nope.
They can turn into.
We have killer rabbits.
Zeb says, that's the clue. Don't trust anyone. Even me. Don't trust her. Don't trust him. Don't trust
Paranoia.
anyone.
I can
They're
trust
all
my
out to
wife.
get you.
Paranoia.
And then he wanders away.
Nope.
So,
Wow.
Well, don't trust anyone, even your teammates. Definitely brings paranoia to mind.
Yes.
Uh-huh. And I'm pretty sure we have 3 killer rabbits.
The
So.
rabbit's a killer!
they well, because they turn into into the main villain in the cartoon. So I don't trust these rabbits.
Also, big, sharp, nasty, pointy teeth.
Yes, there's also a thing. That's why they're in the cage.
As adorable as they are, they're stuffed into a tiny little cage because
So, what shall you do next,
Never
O
trust the
adventurers?
bunny.
Oh, Gunters, who are now in second place.
We were the first
Only
ones who beat the thing, and we're
the
in second
Sixers
place.
remembered are
I know.
ahead of you.
Uh-oh.
But we're the
Cheaters.
first ones who fifth. They're cheating.
They're cheating.
Indeed.
Just like
Now I'm mad. I want to know what the name was that I didn't call out.
Rumpelstiltskin.
No, it's probably a named bad guy in an original book. I just don't know all of the bad guys by name.
Yes.
Actually, the description sounded familiar, but I don't remember the name, which is why he was green-faced little thingy.
So, oh, that's right. I can't look it up on the tablet and show you because I turned off the Wi-Fi. Okay, driving on. Where would you guys like to go next? You're standing in the middle of a giant convention hall in which every role-playing game ever written is actively being played.
We have to find the right one.
The boxes have arrived. Can we possibly take a lunch break so we can eat our melted cheese while it is still melty?
Yes.
Some of us are hungry.
The Gunters need food.
All right, the Gunters need food. Let us take a short break so we can get back to our audience and keep the game
Right.
moving.
This
But
also
the
gives us a
Gunters
minute
need
to-
food.
Process.
Also, the Gunters are lost. So.
Yes, the Gunters also need to conversate.
Okay.
Are we good? We're off.
Welcome back. We have returned, pizza in hand, to continue the hunt.
Except we're not sure where to hunt.
When we last left our intrepid gunters, they were standing in the midst of an immense hall where every role-playing game ever written was being played. They had just defeated the 3 Dungeons and Dragons history questions posed to them by the Mad Wizard Kellic. They were warned that no place in this room is safe, and that they will only find their exit if they abandon themselves to a sense of danger.
Which we're thinking leads towards paranoia, but we need some, you know.
If we find his name, can we call it out?
Whose name?
Good question. The
The little goblin thing.
little goblin guy.
You could.
If we can, because that could be something somebody else is trying to figure out.
That's true.
I'm gonna look up green villains.
Okay. Well, there's no paranoia books in here for physical referencing.
No, we're not village.
What would you like to know?
I'm assuming paranoia is there.
Every role-playing game written is being played somewhere in that room in the Oasis.
I would ask for the clue again, but it was like 10 minutes long. What are the relevant points of the clue again?
Just from listening to you talk, you've picked up on the relevant points. How would you act on them?
Pretty much paranoia. How many tables of paranoia are there? Or how many editions of paranoia are being played? Said every game ever done. So looking around the room, how many tables?
How many
with
editions of
some-
Paranoia is there?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
There are so many tables. You don't even know where to start trying to find where paranoia is being played.
Is there any order to the tables?
That is a wonderful question. You find that, strangely enough, the tables are in a strange sort of order. The tables seem to be arranged chronologically and by publisher.
Okay. Mongoose Publishing, West End Games are the publishers. Hold on.
Okay.
And then year. So, like, by year and then alphabetical by publisher? Or...
Yes.
Okay.
Each
Okay.
publisher has a chunk of tables organized by year.
Okay, so it's yeah. Okay, so a publisher group, and then the tables are arranged
Right.
by year. So we need
Paranoia
to find...
is a dystopian science fiction tabletop role-playing game originally designed and written by Greg, I can't say the last name,
Kostikian.
Dan Giebler, and Eric Goldberg, and first published in 1984 by West End Games.
So West in 1984.
Yeah, so we find the West End Games,
All right.
year 1984.
As you approach the 1984 areas and find your way to West End Games, you find that the paranoia table is in the shadow of a massive computer monitor that is projecting a giant bloodshot eyeball that seems to be watching the players intently.
The Eye of Sauron!
Probably not. But I've got a cookie that makes me feel like I'm being watched all the time.
Pretty big brother.
Big Brother.
Sorry, it was from Dennis's game. He said when I picked up the cookie, I felt like I was being watched, and when I put the cookie down, I no longer feel like I'm being watched. I just,
Alright.
figured it's because I'm awesome and everybody wants to watch me. But
So, as you're standing in the walkway preparing to approach the table, you do get an eerie feeling that you're kind of being watched. Looking around the room, you see that the gamers are all engaged in the games that they're playing, but there are these tiny pairs of red eyes staring at you.
little rabbit
From
eyes.
under game tables, or on top of game tables, or in the laps of players, or in one case on the shoulder of a game master. They're everywhere.
The little rabbits.
Dozens of them, all following every move you make.
Maybe if we give them the rabbits, like give them back their family.
I don't know, maybe.
I mean, if it's a giant monitor, I could probably tinker with it.
Hack the monitor.
Yeah, could probably break it.
But that might be the doorway, and if we break it, we can't get out.
Well, I can at least discover what it is.
Fair enough.
You want to tinker with the monitor a little bit?
Elizabeth, give me an awareness roll, please, for Shadakar.
Ooh, okay. 6.
Okay. As you approach the monitor, you step close to the table, and your perception of the gamers at the table changes, as does your perception of the game master. From the middle of the walkway with the rest of the party, they look just like everyone else. T-shirts, jeans, gamers, Mountain Dew. But as you step close to the table, something strange happens. All of the players at the table are now wearing black t-shirts and red coveralls that are identical, except for their character names embroidered on the breast. All of their snacks in front of them now appear exactly the same. They all have uniform red bowls and red cans of what's called bouncy bubble beverage sitting in front of them. They all have the exact same red dice. The game master is wearing a set of robes that look eerily similar to the robes worn by Dungeon Master in the classic Dungeons and Dragons cartoon, except they are a beautiful deep violet color. He has a clunky tablet of some sort that looks like what 1984 might have thought a notebook computer was going to look like. And he is standing over the players, describing the scene to them in an extremely authoritative voice. All of the players are looking down at their character sheets, almost as if they're afraid to look anywhere else. And the entire time, the giant bloodshot eye is fixed on the players. What would you like to do?
I would like to relay that information to everyone else.
Okay, so you step away from the table?
Yes.
As soon as you're off the carpet square that the table is sitting on and back towards the walkway, looking back over your shoulder, you just see a bunch of gamers.
So I think that's where we have to go because it's spooky and
Well,
different.
And it did the same thing when we were at the blue box table, the blue book table, because the other team didn't see us while we were on the carpet. So let's move in on the carpet.
Okay. And then do you, like, we're while observing the first time with all of the spooky stuff, were the red eyes still there? Like
The rabbits?
yeah, the rabbit eyes.
The rabbits were still there, but the rabbits were wearing tiny red overalls. So the whole party steps into the zone?
Hold on.
Hang on.
I think we're researching.
That sounds so familiar, and I can't place it though. Red overalls, black t-shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Red t-shirt. Dang it.
Oh, can I, like, okay, I will go ahead and walk up there while they're researching.
I'll go with you.
All right. Are either of you attempting to be stealthy in any way?
No,
Or are you simply walking up to the monitor?
I'll walk up.
Walking.
All right. You walk up to the monitor. The giant eye jerks downward into one corner, and is now staring at the two of you. And a voice that seems to appear or emanate from everywhere speaks and says, "Greetings, citizens. Are you happy?"
Oh, that's the overseer. No. What
I
is
think
it?
it is. Hold on.
You do not look entirely happy, citizens. A little drawer drops open and slides out. There are pills sitting in the drawer. Happiness is mandatory, citizen. Have you had your happiness supplement this day?
Friend computer.
Did you
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Friend computer? Okay,
Yeah.
that's friend computer.
Well, I mean, if we do it, we got other people to help us. Because I think this.
Failure to respond to a lawful inquiry by friend computer is treason. Are you committing treason, citizen?
No.
Of course.
I have slow processing power. See. Takes longer
Perhaps-
for me to think.
Perhaps you should report to a medical facility, citizen. You require adjustment.
Okay.
I feel like the only way to get in is by taking those pills.
Probably.
Do you trust your computer, citizen?
No.
Failure
No.
to trust the computer is treason.
Yes.
It's on the cover.
I'm not doing that, but
Hmm? It's on the cover of what? Paranoia?
Like legit, the
Ah.
cover of the Paranoia RPG has a guy in a black t-shirt and red overalls.
so I
Okay.
think we do
With a
have to take it.
creepy little smile. Now, I still, like, legit, I kind of want access to a PDF of Paranoia. That's just what I'm trying to get.
Would you like
Eddie?
access to a PDF of Paranoia,
I
citizen?
would like access to a PDF of Paranoia, please.
Eddie, are you gonna take it with me?
Sure, why not?
All right, we're gonna take the joy.
Oh gods.
Okay, just so you know, my research does show that the computer often tells you to do things that are fatal.
Yes,
Just putting that out
the
there.
computer will kill you
But
because
I
you and you're
feel like-
happy.
I feel like it's the only way to get in.
Here is
No.
the original Paranoia Player's Handbook by Weston Game Citizen.
I request that you maybe not.
Hold on a
Until
second
just
before you
yet.
take those.
Oh wait, now they're not in red shirts. Now they're in white shirts.
We can receive them without actually ingesting
It's okay.
them.
Are you my finder?
What happens if we do commit treason?
Wait.
There is only one punishment for treason.
Dad,
Summary execution.
saw that coming.
Clearance red. What does clearance red mean?
I'm gonna step.
So the eye moves slightly to look over your shoulder, straight at her. It says, "Red clearance is your security clearance, citizen."
What?
Okay. Infrared clearance citizens, which is the highest ones, by the way, live dull lives of mindless drudgery and are heavily medicated, while higher clearance characters may be allowed to demote or even summary execute those of a lower rank. And those with ultraviolet, are almost completely unrestricted and have a great deal of access to the computer. They are the only citizens that may legally access and modify the computer's program, and thus ultraviolet citizens are also referred to as high programmers.
Okay, I say red clearance to the computer.
The computer looks straight at you. The computer says, "Citizen, you are not wearing the proper color of clothing for a red clearance clone. Wearing improper clothing constitutes impersonating a higher clearance clone. Impersonation of a higher clearance clone is treason.
They're in the wash.
Failure to keep one's uniform clean is treason.
Anyone else sensing a theme?
All right, so
What's this?
a door opens at the top of the computer, and a weapon barrel extends
Oh.
and says, "Please remain calm while summary execution is carried out."
I,
calm?
I go into my Oasis console. Can I change the color of my outfit from blue to red?
Indeed, you can.
Okay, I changed myself, so I'm wearing the same exact outfit, but now it is red.
You go into the avatar editing software and
Really
change
not my
the skin.
Change your skin.
It's like,
Okay.
this is really not my color. Well, let's see if he doesn't kill me.
Can I change my skin too?
If I'm the only one who doesn't die, then you'll know you should have changed the color to red. But if he shoots me,
Maybe don't.
maybe change back. Because
All
I'm
right.
the first one, so I'll either get shot or I
So,
won't get
here's what
shot.
happens. Shadakar goes absolutely still while Elizabeth is exiting into the Oasis avatar editing software to rapidly change the color. Unfortunately, you're a bit slow, and the energy beam fires. Shadakar, for a moment, appears as a glowing skeleton and then crumbles to dust.
Oh, damn,
And then
I tried!
something really unusual happens.
I tried!
Shadakar comes walking around from behind the computer, and the avatar name over his head now says
Shadakar 2.
Shadakar-2.
It's yes, because when you start the game of Paranoia, you start with 5?
Six clones.
6 clones.
Six
of yourself.
identical clones.
6 identical clones of who you are, and you're not out of the game unless you lose all 6 of your people, because you're expected to die
But
at least a couple times.
you
within the
notice the spelling of the name has changed.
Oh.
Oh. I saw the exact code.
game. For what?
It now says Shad-UKK-R-1.
Ooh. That's weird.
Which worked out perfectly. But anyway,
Wait, how is it spelled?
Shad-UKK-1.
-R
Dash R.
1.
Oh.
Shad dash U
KK
K K.
-R-1.
Pass me though.
Oh, and
Box of goodies.
the Shadakar one that walks around the corner is wearing the red jumpsuit with the black shirt.
Because
Oh, that's lovely.
you were put into the.
The computer says or Shadukar 2. The computer says, "Welcome, Shad Ook R2. You may begin your standard work shift in 5 minutes. Please carry out all necessary hygienic actions before the beginning of your shift. Failure to maintain hygiene is treason."
So, do I still get control?
Oh yeah, you've got
Oh,
full
okay.
control of your avatar. For whatever reason, you can't change your skin at the moment.
I look like an elf with his green hair and the red.
Unless your hair is now red as well.
Is it?
I don't know.
No,
It's still green.
it's still green.
Okay.
Just sing Jingle Bells, you'll be fine.
All right. So, the computer's eye now focuses on you.
Uh-oh.
And it says, "What are you doing, citizen?"
You said it's spelled Shad dash.
UKK-R-1. Or 2. 2. Dash 2.
David R. Irk 1. Okay.
So am I now in, like, with the players, or am I still like in front of the
No,
screen?
you're still in front of them. You just look exactly like they do.
Can I step out and change my clothes?
If you step out of the simulation and you go right back to what you looked like before the computer nuked you.
So you're still you, but you're
It
still.
even resets your name.
But when you come back in, you'll be the
Okay,
thing
that's
because
cool.
you're
Okay.
clone number 2.
Like leave?
No, I'm gonna go back. I just wanted to make sure.
All right. However, when you step out of the zone, the number of rabbits has increased. There are a lot of them now.
Well, I mean, they're rabbits.
They're everywhere.
How are the rabbits in our cage looking? Are there still just the 3?
Oh, they're happy. There's just the 3 of them.
But
Are
the
they
other-
staring at us?
Occasionally, but most of the time they're just going about the business of being rabbits.
But then the rabbits in overalls are like now everywhere.
The only ones wearing overalls are the ones inside the simulation.
Okay.
The rest of them are just rabbits. And the odd thing is, the players of all the other role-playing games don't seem to notice. But now, almost every table has at least one rabbit sitting on the table.
R's supposed to come before the 3 letters.
I caught that, but it was too late.
Okay.
But you're right.
I just noticed that. I went,
Actually-
oh, okay.
Take a bonus point for correcting the GM.
Nice. You didn't die and corrected the GM.
Right?
That's impressive.
That's because all names have the same format.
So,
Check something.
as you're all standing there watching Shadowcar step in and out of the Paranoia gaming area, the computer changes its focus to view all of you as a group. The pupil gets a little bit bigger, and the computer says, "Citizens, what is your purpose here?"
We're not actually sure. We need to leave. Wait, I'm not talking to you. Okay, guys. So, we found the right game. How do we get out of here with the game?
Why don't we step out of the game?
No, that just resets us back into the room.
Yes,
it's
but
here
that
at
gives
this
us
table.
time to figure out what we need to do
We can.
Before
So we-
the thing kills us.
before the thing kills us.
We'll get back to you, computer.
All right.
And then
We all step out.
carpet for a minute.
All right. So, by the way, as you're getting ready to leave, it says, Citizen Shad R. Car 2, you are due to report for your work shift.
Oh crap.
Failure to report to your work shift is
It's
treason.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Do you mock the computer?
No.
Mocking the computer is treason.
You know what else is treason? Shooting it with a desert eagle. That's treason.
That's so entertaining.
It may happen.
Like, we need to get off this carpet quickly because we're all
Damaging
sarcastic.
alpha complex property is treason.
Okay.
I really feel like
really? Where do I work?
What if you pee on it?
All right.
What happens if I pee on the computer?
Urinating on the computer is treason.
Are you asking or are you going to try it?
No, don't.
You guys are no fun.
You only have 6 lives.
I haven't lost one yet.
Yeah, good point.
Doesn't.
Yet.
This might be worth investigating.
You know what? I waive all responsibility.
All
Do
right.
what you wish.
I will not pee on the computer
Oh
this
my
time.
god.
All right.
I'm pretty sure if Shadowcar 2
So,
doesn't report
energy
it.
cannon comes out, reduces Eric the cleric to a pile of
I never peed.
ash.
I never peed on
No,
it.
I
You just said you did.
No, I think he said
Oh.
I'm not going to.
Oh, okay, my bad.
It was misheard.
I thought I heard him say he was going to pee.
No, he said he wasn't going to.
Yes, I think we convinced him that he would die and that peeing on the computer might not be worth death.
Can I go to work?
Um,
I don't want to die again.
how?
All right.
You could just
Wait,
step
I was
out.
gonna say, if you step out, I'll research.
So the computer
Well, I kind of want to know.
says, "How is it that you are unaware of your work shift, citizen? Who is your supervisor?"
Bro, I don't know.
Yeah,
You just
mama.
killed me 2 minutes ago.
The computer stops for a moment, and you hear this sound that you're only vaguely aware ever existed. It is the sound of a floppy drive chewing on a 5 1/4 inch disc, and you see there is kind of a red light on the computer that's flashing in time.
God, you guys.
A moment later, the computer says, "Your logic is sound, citizen.
So what if you pop?
You have just been decanted and therefore are unaware of your place within Alpha Complex. The computer has committed an error. However, the computer does not commit errors.
You broke it! Congratulations!
It's my job.
There's more in it, and the computer's voice changes. And it says, please stand by. There's the sound of a dot matrix printer. And fanfold paper starts to spit out of a slot you didn't even see was there below the giant computer's below the giant comper's eyeball screen.
Why do we always break the computers that we get?
Right.
Slowly rolling out.
The paper is alternating green and white in various lines with the tractor holes down the side. And it says something along the lines of, Alpha Complex Master Computer OS version 6.27, copyright 1984 West End Games, and it just keeps printing, and then it says, ready. You look up at the screen, and part of the bottom of the screen has gone black, and there's a little ready and a flashing cursor. The computer's eye is kind of fixed and isn't moving.
I think now's our chance to get in.
So yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, what are you going to do?
Is there a keyboard?
There is, in fact, a keyboard.
Y-E-S?
Well, why would you start it up again?
No, ready to go. I'm
Oh.
assuming ready
It says
to go.
syntax error.
Debug C:/U.
I don't know old computer speak. I'm
I
not
can
that
get a point
old.
just for coming up with a. Wait, is it the? I can't. Yeah, it is.
It's
U.
got to be DOS.
Yeah, it's DOS. That's DOS.
Just don't ask it if it wants to play a game.
Okay, so what would you like to do?
Play war games.
Debug C:/U space /U enter.
You're debugging the computer?
No, I'm erasing its hard drive. Literally, I'm erasing its hard drive.
But we need to get out.
That's not going to work.
I don't know.
Disk format reinstall.
Exactly. See, he
All
put
right.
that down. He knows what I'm talking about.
The GM looks confused.
All right.
No, the GM.
The
won't
eye
piss
goes
off.
really wide, like out of surprise. And about 30 different voices start to issue forth from the computer in various stages of alarm. Then silence. You realize now that the game master has stopped running his game, and all the players and the GM are staring at you in abject horror as the screen goes blank.
Yes!
Their mouths are hanging open. They're staring up at the black screen with this look of absolute forlorn terror. And that's when you hear a familiar voice say, "Hi."
Where is he?
Zeb is standing next to Eric the cleric, and he has a small box in his hands.
Okay.
It's velvet.
Ooh.
It has hinges on one side. It's about this big, and he hands it up to you.
Did it come from Jared?
He looks at you quizzically, and then gestures and says, "Hi."
I take the box.
All right. You open the box.
Mm-hmm.
Inside is a ribbon with a medal. The medal is struck in the shape of a 1980s desktop PC with an eyeball in the... And there is a certificate next to it that says that you, Eric the cleric,
Broke friend.
have been issued the James T. Kirk Award for Computer Confusion. And for destroying, by use of esoteric computer knowledge, friend computer,
Beautiful.
you have been granted 1 teleportation voucher out of here.
Yes.
Nice.
So that's how you get out. You break friend computer.
Well, we did it anyway.
I don't think that's how you're actually supposed to do it.
To play the game.
Yes, possibly just talking to the DM at the table might have gotten us out of here.
It just came to me.
That's great.
To quote Randy Spears, Randy, if you're watching, we love you. Feel better. It's good for the game.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
All right. Seb walks off, and you realize there are several other people staring at you. Right? The DM looks at you and says, "Friend computer is gone."
Oh, I'm sure he'll fix himself. Do you have anything for us? Friend computer once asked us to ask you if you had anything for us.
He thinks about that for a second. And he says, "Well, if it is an order from friend computer,
It is.
I must comply."
Yes, you must.
Bless you.
He goes over to the table and starts shuffling through his game master notes, which are, of course, all on the same kind of dot matrix printout fanfold paper that friend computer had. He shuffles through and says, "Where did this come from?" He looks at this printout and he says, "Indeed, friend computer left a message for traders."
Uh-oh.
He looks at all of you, and with the exception of you, he says, "You look like traders. I must give you this message."
Okay.
And then as soon as he hands you the message, he says, "But if I give them the message, I'm aiding traders, which is treason. But if I do not, I am acting against friend computer's wishes, which is treason."
It's okay. We're traders working with friend computer.
I pat him on the back.
One of the clones sitting at the table now bursts into tears and is just crying uncontrollably.
I feel like we need to leave these poor people alone now. Yeah.
I have never in my life been able to break one of Jeffrey's games. And I did it today. And I gotta
You
say,
also
I'm
won.
kind of proud of that.
And it's recorded.
But I will just take the printout and back away because I'm afraid of breaking them anymore.
The game master's lower lip is just quivering uncontrollably.
What is it?
Read the note. Read the note.
What does the note say?
All right.
Oh, and would you like this back now that I don't need to finagle through the paranoia?
Right. The note says,
I'm assuming we're done with it. We broke friend computer. This will be of no more help.
the note says, insert voucher. It says insert voucher, and the next thing it says is run space quote star quote comma 8 comma 1.
Wait. Run, space, quote,
Star,
star.
like the asterisk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I actually wrote star. Okay, star.
End quote comma 8 comma 1.
Are we still? Is friend computer like dead, or like can we still type it?
You've got a totally black screen at the moment.
You've got black screen of death. That's supposed to be blue screen of death. Okay, so insert voucher, run, space. Like space or like the underscore?
Like a space,
space.
not an
Okay.
underscore. Stay space.
Space, quotes, asterisk, quote, comma 8, comma 1.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that looks kind of old school programming.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
I don't know what it means.
that's why I was saying if we could put it back into friend computer.
Yeah, well,
We still have
to insert the voucher
Okay.
somewhere
Yeah, I
first.
think we have to
Yeah,
insert-
is there a way I can get friend computer back up and working?
We need a voucher.
There's a power button.
Okay.
We have a voucher.
I know, I kind of wanted to get a second one. Because you never know.
If we hadn't gotten it by breaking friend computer, we probably should have gotten the voucher from the DM. So I walk up to the DM and go, "Was there a voucher with that?"
The DM blinks at you, struggles back through his paperwork, and says, "Well, this is not a voucher. It is a holy program that allows the vouchers to run. It is a subroutine.
Can I pickpocket it?
Can I take that?
Yeah, can I just take it from him?
You're not cleared for it, but friend computer says I must help you.
Yes, friend computer would like me.
It is blue clearance."
I open up my Oasis avatar skin and I color my outfit to blue. I am
looks you
blue.
over and says, "I am so very confused."
It's alright.
Oh, this poor guy.
We'll get you on those
I'm blue now. I am clearance. I get subroutine. Thank you, and I love you. Have a nice day. Computer says be happy.
Happiness is mandatory, citizen. I am so very close to being non-mandatory.
Are there still the pills left
Yes.
out? Can I just hand them to him?
That's what I was thinking.
He looks at them and downs the entire handful.
But your friend was crying. You should have given him a pill. Sorry. Okay. Okay.
So,
I back away with my subroutine.
Why are there rabbits?
Finally, someone noticed the rabbits.
He looks around and says, "The rabbits have security clearance. Why? Why?" So, there are sobbing clones, there are crying clones, there is a clearly freaking out clone in violet robes. You are in possession of a voucher, a floppy disk.
I am
I
going
still
to
want to
put.
put this stuff in the front computer and see what happens.
You put the floppy in the computer, and then you turn it off and turn it back on again.
yeah.
And it reruns from the
Alright.
computer.
Oh, boot to the floppy.
Okay.
Just next to the keyboard, the engineer finds a small box with a little tab that flips up and down.
Who the
It
engineer?
says Commodore 1541.
Yes, of course it does.
So, I guess put in floppy, run to
Yeah.
floppy, reinitialize.
Alright, so the floppy is in. Shadakar presses the power button. There's a beep and a churning noise coming from the little box with the disc. The screen turns bright blue. And then you have a ready prompt in white letters.
So I'm gonna put in the run thing.
Okay?
The run space, quote asterisk, star, quote,
Comma.
comma, 8, comma 1.
Alright. You type in that line and press the enter button. The floppy drive starts to make grinding noises. And nothing happens for a good 4 or 5 minutes because floppy drive. And then
Right.
the screen changes. You see a primitive drawing of a TARDIS. And it says, Teleportation Control Program, version 1.0.
Yes.
Cracked by the guys from Sweden.
We're still in the almost.
Okay.
Press enter to continue.
So I press enter.
You press enter, and you get 3 columns of ancient 8-bit text with all these destinations and numbers, and at the bottom there's a prompt. And as soon as they finish populating all 3 rows, something odd happens.
Go
That's
figure.
everything else.
The computer goes back and overwrites every single destination with the words crystal key.
Ah.
Ah! So I click the
Go.
the
ready.
enter for
Sure.
one of them.
You choose one of them, you press enter, and the computer screen implodes inward with a shattering glass sound.
Now
which
we really
gets a
broke it.
gasp from every other NPC in the zone.
I was about to say, we really broke friend
Friend
computer now.
Yeah.
The GM in the purple robes drops to his knees and starts begging for forgiveness. A ramp extends from the bottom of the computer monitor, which now leads into a blackened hall.
Let's go
up.
Regulators, right out.
Yeah.
Bye, frat citizens. Thank you for your assistance.
Friend computer loves you.
Stop torturing the poor people.
All right.
So much fun.
Okay. You find yourselves.
Do I still have a wicker basket with 3 bunny rabbits with glowing red
In fact,
eyes?
you do.
Okay.
You find yourselves in a void space. All impressions of motion have stopped. At first, you felt like you were traveling, almost like with that first teleport. But then, the feeling of motion ebbed. And now you're all standing on a floor you can't see, in an infinite space with stars in the distance, almost as if you're all in the midst of deep space.
Space. The final
No
frontier.
frontier.
Right? Alright, and that is when, with a teleportation sound effect you're pretty sure you recognize from Saturday morning cartoons, Killick reappears. He's rubbing a spot at his back and going, "That smarted."
Didn't you die already?
Apparently not.
He,
Heart Kellick. He's gonna kill me at some point.
right. He says, "My foolish green-skinned associate
Whose name we haven't found yet.
delayed me for a bit. But I am back because it is my curse to be your guide on this quest.
Uh-oh.
Can you just turn yourself into a rabbit?
However, I am pleased to say that you are no longer in the lead."
We weren't
That
in the lead before.
tickles me, as it were.
The Sixers ones are cheating.
Yeah.
I have a knife I can tickle you with.
He says, "You have demonstrated your knowledge of tabletop games. But that was only a portion of the obsessions of the great Anorak. Were we to honor him completely, you must show knowledge of other areas of his interest."
Fun, fun, fun.
Cool, Bart.
He says, "The last portion of the quest was too easy. Now, things become more difficult."
You mean the portion that only we were able to pass? Just checking.
And yet the cheaters are still ahead of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow.
Cheaters. Those are cheaters. Cheaters.
They must be New England Patriots.
Cheaters never prosper.
He says, "I give you," he strokes his white beard, "1 chance in 3 of even surviving this next set of challenges. And beware, unlike the zone you just left, the next zone has no safeties. Should you run across other questors, you will be fully able to harm one another.
PvP, check.
Once again, the number of the challenges you face will be 3.
3 is the number of the counting.
Having shall be 3.
Like 3 rabbits.
Yeah.
When you say that, Kellick stops for a moment and stares at something past you in deep space. There's a rabbit hopping across nothingness until it sits on its haunches between the two of you, looking up.
Hi.
Hi.
The rabbit just wiggles its nose.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait, does that make 4 rabbits?
That would be 4 rabbits.
I pick up the rabbit and put him in the cage.
But
The rabbits are now starting to get really tight in the cage.
Do you know like a shrink spell or something to shrink the rabbits?
Or
enlarge
enlarge
the
spell
cage?
to enlarge the cage.
Nope.
Or
Kellic says, I am now contractually obligated by those who have created this quest to give you, should you wish it, a moment to secure supplies or equipment for your avatars.
that would be great, Kelly.
Smitten.
He says, were I permitted to strike you down where you stand,
Yeah, we know. Trust me.
but I cannot interfere with the quest.
You could kill her, so could a dog, and you're not special.
Insolence. Insolence!
Well, yeah.
Kind of our thing.
We destroyed your game. Were you not paying attention?
Broke a red computer.
He raises his hand, and you see magical start to... He's getting ready to throw a bolt, and then he stops and watches another rabbit hop out of nothingness and sit next to your foot.
Oh, wait.
Now there's a rabbit for each of us.
Maybe we shouldn't collect these rabbits.
No, I feel like we're gonna need
I
the
think
rabbits because there's now one for each of us.
Supposed to be rabbits. It makes no sense.
I pick up the rabbit and I hold it. Here, you can hold the cage of rabbits.
Actually, I'm gonna grab one of the rabbits and I'm gonna put him on my shoulder.
Okay, I'm gonna
I'm
hold
gonna
one.
pick one up too.
So we're pulling rabbits out of the cage now.
You can keep mine.
Don't free them.
They're not free, they're in arms.
Silence!
Kelly, do you need to take a pill? There are some back there with your computer.
He
I was
says,
gonna offer me
I
Snickers.
am an archmage.
And we are
I smite people like you as a hobby.
and we are so proud of you, Kelly. And you just keep trying.
And yet, I am reduced to tour guide.
Don't use that as an excuse to PMS. We all get through it without too many moves.
Liar.
I'm tired of dealing with you. I shall send you to your next destination, that you may prepare, in whatever pathetic manner you choose, for the rest of the challenges. When you are ready to proceed, simply walk into the gold mine. Now be gone! He waves his hand. There's a bright flash,
Bye, Kelly.
and you're all standing in the food court of a mall.
Yes.
Let's go shopping.
I could eat.
We can buy little
You know what
cars
sounds
for the
good?
rabbits.
Oh my gosh, we should color coordinate them.
An orange Julius sounds really, really good right now.
Strangely enough, there's definitely an orange Julius.
I buy an orange
Yeah, I'm in the
Julius.
mood for some
I'm with
crappy
him on
little
this one.
Chinese.
Right?
They don't even exist anymore, do they?
I think they do in mall courtyards.
Is there a pet store?
Corn dogs, yeah.
Yeah, is there one of those
Mini
little like
corn
little
dogs.
mini pet stores?
Why not?
Okay,
We're gonna go buy some rabbit
rabbit.
collars.
We're gonna color coordinate them. Why am I agreeing with you? I don't trust these things.
Because it'd be cute.
All right, so at this point in the game, everybody has received another 8 points
Woo!
in
Wow.
their accounts. You may now put up to 3 of the points you've received, 1 for 1, into your basic skills if you wish.
Might I suggest dodge?
Alright, I'm gonna dodge. I'm gonna put all of it in dodge. I'm not gonna even
What's
mess
the
around.
highest that is built basic skill can go?
The highest a basic skill can go is 12 points over where it started,
Oh, okay.
Oh god, how are we supposed to remember what we started at?
because it's in the books.
Oh, right.
So if it starts at 1, then it
Then you can
to
go to
50.
13, and
Okay.
that's where you would
So
stop.
I am at 11 right now.
No one... 11? Oh, points left.
Yeah.
And when you're done doing that, I want to put all that stuff in. And is there anything from the equipment list, any spells, anything you guys want to pick up? Because this mall has everything.
Ooh, spells.
Bells.
And with the exception of a couple of minor changes, this mall looks very much to you like an exact replica of the San Dimas Mall.
Oh dear.
Santimus. Excellent.
Yeah.
Dead movie, right? Yeah.
Cute town, by the way. IRL.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
That's from 9/11 Dead, isn't it?
San Dimas High School football rules.
No, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, right?
Yes.
I've never
Yes.
seen that.
What?
We're gonna fix that.
I am 20. Everything is before me.
That's true. You are hanging out with people who are a bit older than you.
Old enough to be her dad.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Don't
scary.
even think about
Oh,
it.
no, you would have to be like.
23.
23.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a completely reasonable age to yes.
Yeah.
Especially back then.
Not,
That was not meant to be that.
it wasn't that far away.
That wasn't supposed to be mean.
Way back then.
You know that bonus point I gave you? I'm taking it back. I'm taking them all
I
back.
already used it.
I'm just kidding. This one right here. This was my dream, my wish.
3 and I have 8. I think I'm gonna take 2 more
Martin
heals.
Sheen. So, just so our viewers out there can know where the minds of our Gunters are going at the moment, what in particular are you guys looking for?
I'm thinking heal because I'm thinking we're gonna need that.
Ah, you're powering up your heal spell.
Yes.
I'm actually gonna try and get a new weapon.
A new weapon.
Because
That is
I
interesting.
raised my melee up to 5.
Nice.
Oh, jeez.
Because I realized I was dodgy but not attacky.
Anybody else doing anything useful? Interesting?
I raised my awareness up to 6 and dodge, or up to 8 and dodge up to 6.
Nice. Your avatars are becoming powerful.
And someone's at the door.
I think that's the pizza guy.
I've been here.
And
He's back.
we're gamers.
It's a Mary.
Oh, okay. So,
That's back.
So
Simple is 2, correct?
I believe so, yes.
I'm going completely off memory because
I have book in front of me.
Here.
I will
Well, I
find it.
don't.
I have
but I think full arms is simple and simple is 2.
Pull arms are simple and simple is 2.
Woohoo!
yeah, actually, you know that's not a bad idea.
What is better, S or L?
S.
S is short.
Serious, L is light.
Yes.
Okay.
For damage. S
Yeah.
is serious, L is
Yes.
light.
Okay. I want to get a...
Alright.
Actually,
So, are we ready to wrap up and continue the quest?
no.
1 second.
Alright.
I'm figuring out if I want to try to pick up a ranged weapon, but I don't think that's a good idea.
This mall has weapon shops. In fact,
A longbow.
you notice that the proprietor of the weapon shop in the mall appears to be the same actor that played the proprietor of the weapon shop in the movie Terminator, who also happens to be Mr. Flutterman from Gremlins.
A longbow is 8 points, right?
Yes,
Almost positive.
I think so. So Jeff,
Yes.
that you weren't planning for debug format.
I was
So-
not, but it worked just as well as what I had planned, so it's okay. You see, we game masters try not to tell you when you've totally screwed up our best laid plans. We just roll with it and let you believe that that was the plan all along.
Oh, well,
In
usually.
fact, it is entirely possible that I don't have any plan from here on out, and I'm simply listening for the things you guys are worried about and making it happen.
Sometimes you can tell though, because you get this deer in headlights blink as your brain tries to process.
It's true.
You just-
I see the...
I'm
My
gonna,
brain does not always process at the proper velocity.
I'm gonna hit the men's room before we start.
All right.
Good luck.
8,
Thank you.
range L.
All right, so I am going to update my GM notes as we move around the table. Aaron, you said you changed some of your stats. Which ones changed?
Awareness went up to 8 and dodge went up to 6.
Wow. Okay. Eric the cleric is taking a pee. Shadakar, did you change any of your basic skills?
Yes, I changed melee to 4 and dodge to 5.
Got it. And Missy Yoshi, did you change anything?
I did. I moved my I moved awareness up to 4,
Uh-huh.
dodge up to 5, and ranged weapon up to 5.
dodge 5
Yes.
and ranged weapon 5.
Yes, and then awareness 4.
All right, and Eddie Lives. Did you change any of your basic
Can I have
skills?
the candy?
What did I change? Ranged weapon went up to 4. Dodge went up to 4.
Excellent. All we need to know is what Eric the Cleric hath wrought. And then it is time to
Oh,
continue.
see if anything changed on this sheet.
I don't know how we would tell.
Well,
maybe
we
Just
have-
hand it to me.
Yeah,
I've got
yeah.
his original stats.
So pass it.
That's okay. He doesn't know what his stats are either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric the Cleric.
Which is better than his deal.
4, 4, 1, 1, 3, 2,
Okay, so
3, 5,
And one more of that is...
2, 6.
3.
He put all his points into dodge.
Yeah, he said he was
oh,
going
that's right.
to.
He did say he was gonna do that.
He said he was going to dump all of his points
He
into dodge.
also get a
because-
form because I feel like you will have gotten
He may have gotten that, but I'm not keeping track of optionals.
Okay.
I'm only keeping track of basic skills.
He said he was thinking about it.
All right, so
Can I go to the pet store and get a leash
indeed.
for the rabbits?
In fact, we're not even going to bother with money on that one because it wouldn't cost you much. So you go to the pet store and buy leashes for the rabbits?
Yes.
Leashes and collars. Color coded.
When you arrive at the pet store, you notice something that's really interesting. The only kind of pet this pet store deals in
Is rabbits.
are rabbits. And they are little white bunnies with pink noses and red eyes, just like the ones in your cage
And in our arms.
and in your
And
arms.
on the shoulders.
They have all manner of rabbit accessories.
Probably should pick up some rabbit food too.
That's what I was gonna
That's
say.
not a bad idea.
So you pick up some rabbit food?
Yep.
Combined feed.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll just feed them all kind of in a pile. So, like a collapsible bowl,
Well,
some
it's-
rabbit food.
It's just in case they like turn into something, we can have them on a leash.
Sure.
Yes, yeah.
All right, so you buy your pet supplies. Is there anything else?
A bigger kitten.
I kind of want to carry my rabbit though.
Yeah.
Now that she's got this pretty blue collar and leash, I kind of want to carry
You're getting
her.
too like attached to these
I
rabbits.
know, right? What?
When they come and eat you, when they come and eat all y'all, I'm
non-rabbit
gonna tell
equipment?
you so.
Right. Is anybody buying any non-rabbit equipment?
I bought a longbow.
A longbow. Excellent.
I.
I bought a longsword.
I kind of like my hand cannon.
Okay.
So,
Ooh, a halberd.
You want a halberd?
That might be fun.
That's a big weapon.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
Requires the polearm skill, but
I
it
guess
could be
about the-
really useful.
I just bought the polearm skill.
Well, that's good. Do you want one? Mr. Flutterman will sell you one.
If you want a halberd, then I'll take the Naginata back.
Yeah,
Because now I have alarms as well.
yeah.
maybe I'll get something
And I guess it gets one breaks or whatever, you know.
flashy because
Okay,
Yeah.
so I am taking a halberd.
Just in case.
And so I've got the Naginata now. So I'm
All
going to put
right.
it on my sheet so you can take it off your
not
sheet.
that shiny. I know I don't need that.
All
I
right.
don't have that new choice. Okay.
I need the
I won't do anything stupid.
stats.
While you're here, you hear the horns play, and the scoreboard changes again.
Ah.
Somebody else is caught up. We need to get moving.
No, the Sixers remembered. Score just went up. They're still in first place. You're still in second. But the icon of the crystal key appears next to their name now.
Crap. Can you hand me the... I just need a paper that talks about the weapons.
Here, that's it.
Here it
This
is.
whole packet has all of them.
Well, this literally is the sheet that I did it.
Excuse me.
How are they getting so many points?
They're cheating. Because they didn't even finish these things. They, like, skipped somehow.
I'm going to see her.
Okay.
Nice.
I am good.
Is it a light saber?
So now I've got an energy pistol, a katana, a naginata, and a longbow.
Okay.
And all my quiver. Okay, I'm ready to go.
Okay, you guys are all ready to go, huh?
Yep.
Yep.
All dressed up with nowhere to go.
Now, apparently we have somewhere to go, alright.
Let's rock.
We gotta get moving on that somewhere.
Okay. So,
So he
you guys
said,
walk out into the hall, or into the mall. You're now standing in the main concourse of the San Dimas Mall.
okay, I go to one of, I walk up to and look for one of those directories that they have at the mall.
Sure, they have a mall directory.
Yep, and I'm looking for the gold mine.
Oddly enough, there's a listing of all these different stores, and there's a thing that actually says the Gold Mine.
Sweet.
Yep.
That's
We
what that
head
way.
to the gold mine.
And what floor is it on?
It's on the bottom floor.
And we're on the.
You're on the top floor.
Okay.
So we'll go down to the bottom
All
floor and
right,
go to
so
the
you
gold
ride
mine.
the escalators down. You follow the map of the mall, and you are now standing in front of the Gold Mine. The Gold Mine appears to be a video arcade.
That's
Oh dear.
The decoration and trade dress of the store front is huge wooden beams that look like the sort of works that hold open, hold up a mine. And there's even a mine cart that is full of plastic gold coins, and someone has scotch taped a sign to the side of it that there's going to be a Pac-Man competition. The date was earlier.
Oh,
They haven't taken it down yet.
I take the sign down.
But the carpet leading into the arcade has like minecart tracks. Minecart tracks kind of dye sublimated into the carpet leading into the arcade. The arcade seems to be one of those small, narrow mall slots. So it's just big enough for a couple of rows of games on either side and the main hallway leading in. The Orange Julius is to the left.
Gonna give me an Orange Julius then. Large.
All right.
Gosh, now I want an Orange Julius.
Orange whip, 3 orange whips. All right.
So what are we looking for?
Orange Julius. Orange. Gold mine is where it said we needed to go to when we were ready to go.
Yes, but what are we looking for in the gold mine?
We probably just need to walk through the door. I'm thinking.
Oh, okay, I thought we did.
We're supposed to.
No, we haven't yet. We haven't.
Are
That's-
we in the gold mine?
You're standing in front of it.
Well, let's go in.
All right. You guys start to go in when you hear a voice coming off from behind you in the mall. Yell, "Hey!"
What? We turn
Oh.
around and see
Look.
who's attached to the voice.
All right. The team that got smashed by the giant foot
Oh,
is standing behind you. They point. Or the leader points at all of you
So,
and says, "How did you get here before us?"
we're better than you.
All right. One of his other teammates walks up on his left side and says, "They're going to beat us, man. They're ahead of us." The other one starts fumbling in a pouch and goes, "What about this thing?"
let's just go into the gold mine.
Yeah, just walk in.
So,
All right.
like,
So
paranoia is back that way.
Beat feet.
Deuces.
Yeah.
Head through the door.
Take the pills.
There is a Dairy Queen store that is on the Orange Julius website. So then
is
we
it
have
around here?
on Ranch Road 620 North.
Sweet.
That must be this one that's right over
That-
here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just
So why don't you send somebody to go make you a run? All right. So Jessica,
Yes.
I would like you to roll a d6, please.
Okay. You said you're gonna die.
Roll a d6.
roll a d6.
6.
Yes.
All right. So
I love you.
the guy that apparently is their party spellcaster and may or may not be terribly good at what he does, throws something that looks like an 8-sided polyhedral die at you. It arcs through the air. But you never quite see what happens with it because all of you step into the arcade and are immediately teleported.
Like, as the door's shutting, I'm like, bye.
All right. So whatever that thing was, it's
Something evil.
you guys have been teleported into the midst of a giant video arcade.
Woohoo.
And by giant, I mean you cannot see the ends of the arcade in any given direction. It's as impressive as the giant room full of every role-playing game ever written.
But a lot noisier.
Except this one is a lot noisier and a lot larger. Like, it doesn't even pretend to have walls at the ends of it because you can't see the walls from here. For all you know, you're standing in the middle or anywhere else because it seems literally infinite. All of you find yourself standing around a cocktail table machine. Does everybody know what one of those are?
Yes.
It's the tabletop video game machines they used to have at pizza joints where you could eat your pizza at the game and then play the game.
Yeah, they have a couple
Yeah,
of
they have
pinballs.
them
They have quite a few of them over there.
Yeah.
The ones that are
However,
like
this
the
one does
console
not have
flat.
any side art, nor does it have any bezel art, nor does it have any sort of art at all.
No, I didn't find features.
It has a screen that is glowing as if it is powered, but it's completely blank. There's a joystick on either end, a button next to each joystick, a player 1 and player 2 button next to one of the joysticks, and a coin box whose little red 25-cent coin mechs are glowing quietly.
Ready, player 1. Sorry.
Roll credits.
Okay, so
I guess
there's
we
no
go play?
way we can tell what this is.
Nope. Till we play it.
Who's good at video games?
I'll roll up on player 1.
You go sit down?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right.
I'll sit on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not good, but I wish you luck.
So, as you sit down in front of the game, you feel something odd in your hand. You look down, and there's a quarter.
So, drop it
Definitely
in
not
the
what I
slot.
thought he'd say.
Elizabeth has the same thing. The moment you guys sat down in front of the machine, a quarter appeared in your right hand.
The game is on.
All right. Well, I'll put it in as
Drop
well.
it in the slot.
So you drop them in the slot.
Push the player 1 button.
Right.
Tokens only.
Tokens only.
Now we have to go chase down the quarter token machine.
Somebody go back to town and get us a shitload of dimes. Okay, so you hear the coins drop. You hear them land in the coin box. The machine makes a coin up noise, and the screen displays a message. It says,
Prepare to
"Welcome,
play.
Gunter friends, into Arcade Infinity.
Sweet.
Okay.
And to escape, the number of the challenges are 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Your quarters shall be endless, though
Okay.
the exits are but few.
Okay.
Now insert a coin where the end will be in view. And the end is printed in all caps in red text.
What?
So insert a coin in whatever video game has the end in capitalized red letters at the end of its play sequence.
That's one way to interpret the clue.
And then it says that our quarters are endless.
The other way you could interpret it is to play a game you know is short.
Where you can get all the way to the end without dying, but in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Or you can die quickly.
But if you
That's
die
probably not going to help.
quickly,
Then again, that might be every game for me.
It's true.
Okay. So, the easiest thing to do to tell if there is a difference is wander around and see if there is a game that says the end on it. Because if there is, then her theory is correct.
There's infinite games. So that could take a lifetime.
We have a teleport, don't we? We could just try and teleport to it.
But how would you know where to teleport?
Oh, I thought it would be. I thought it would let us be generic. Enough.
Read that clue again for me, please.
Welcome, Gunter friends, into Arcade Infinity. And to escape, the number of the challenges are 3. Your quarters shall be endless, though the exits are but few. Insert a coin where every game the end will be in view.
Where every game the end will be in view?
Yes.
Oh.
So I'm guessing a game.
We need one of those arcades that has the multiple games on it. That's what we need.
You mean a multi-game cabinet?
Yeah.
You want to start looking for one?
Wandering aimlessly is not going to help us.
Well, I think we need to try and find a game where we can, while actively playing, can